Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Engine25 Reviews. As always, my name is Brandon. I'm your host, and I like to have a rotating list of guests. I got some friends that go way back on today's show because we're going to be talking about Pixar's Turning Red. And I wanted to get some parents on the show. They have two little ones, and they also have some opinions of some other relatives in the teenager teenager age group, I suppose. So this is Emily and her husband John. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Always happy to see friends, even if it's through a screen. We're gonna hang out in person eventually, one day soon, maybe. But work is crazy right now. Event season is back with a vengeance. It's like it's like nothing ever happened, and it's been 2 70-hour weeks. Yeah. I got another one coming.
Yep, that's how it's going for me too.
So how did you general kind of thoughts first? What did you guys think about Turning Red?
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
The story was great. Animation was good as always. It just didn't catch me as well as some of the past movies have. So,
how do you feel about like some of the other recent ones, like Onward, and then Onward came out right as the pandemic hit. That was the last movie I saw in the theater. And then Soul came out like Christmas Day 2020 or so. Is that right around there?
Mm-hmm. Luca was another one that we
liked Luca.
That one a lot.
I loved Onward and Luca. I've only gotten to watch a little bit of Soul. The kids just weren't as interested in that when I tried to watch it.
So I think Soul is really good. That's probably one that's hard to get for the kids to get through. Like as a musician and a fan of jazz and stuff, like there's a lot in there that I really like. I also think it kind of wanders a bit. Like it tries really hard to be Inside Out, and it doesn't quite get there, in my opinion. But it's really good. And Onward has a lot of stuff for us D&D nerds in it.
I loved Onward. I loved every second of Onward.
Yeah, dude. And it's still they still found a really poignant thing with her with the dad. They somehow made me have feelings for a walking pair of pants. And that's just that's the magic of Pixar. What about you, Emily? How'd you like Turning Red and some of the other recent Pixar stuff?
I thought the scenery was beautiful. I thought the story was beautiful, especially like having a daughter and her being able to watch this movie and seeing somebody go through puberty and know that it's normal. So like as she gets older, she'll be able to know that it's normal. The things that are happening are normal. Every person,
some form of this happens to you. That's just tell them early, let them know. And I'm no parent, but I definitely, there are a lot of things that in this movie that I think are really great. Of course, the movie's directed by Domee Shi, who is mostly known for short films with Pixar. She directed Bao, which was attached to another Pixar movie that I didn't look up ahead of time.
I feel like it was Luca.
Was it? I think it was before the pandemic, though.
Was it?
Yeah, maybe it was Toy Story 3. It was one of the ones that came out in like 2019, I want to say. Anyway, it's really good. And, so they gave her a feature, and it's about Mei Lin, or Mei Mei, as her little friends call her. She's 13 years old, growing up in Toronto, and she's, of course, her parents are Korean, and she has this mild spoiler, but it's nothing you don't learn in the trailer. She eventually one day wakes up and finds out that she's a giant red panda. And it's as you pointed out, like it tells kids that puberty is normal and it's okay. The whole movie is just like a big metaphor for puberty, and it's about a little girl going through adolescence, and it's we really like this movie. It's probably and by we I mean myself and my wife. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie since the pandemic. I did really like Onward. I've watched Onward a couple of times. Soul, like I said, there was a lot of things that hit me personally, but I don't think like the movie came together as a package.
Mhm.
And Luca's mostly just really funny.
Luca's fun. The kids
Yeah.
love Luca. The flying
Um,
fish in the sky, the
yeah.
guardians in the sky. I mean,
And
Autumn loved it.
anything having to do with the ocean, I'm here for. But I also,
Yeah.
you know, there's Finding Nemo for that. So, but yeah, Turning Red, it hit really close to home. But also, you know, like I don't know that I'm a great person to speak on it. You know, Pixar movies, the great thing about them is they always have something for the parents too. And this is, you know, like no less thematically complex than any of their other movies, which is really great. But you know, the main thing I want to touch on first is it sounds like your kids really liked it. Have they talked about it at all? Like you can, tell me what your kids think.
So Autumn, Ike doesn't talk much. Ike's obsession right now is in Canto, and he'll just come down and chant Canto, Canto, Canto.
That's fair.
But
we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. Autumn comes downstairs, and when she wants to watch a movie, she's like, "Mommy, May May, Mommy, May May,
Yeah,
May May. I want to watch May
May
May."
May.
And they've got a TV in their playroom, so they'll
Cool.
sit down and they'll watch the movie. And then I had my 19-year-old niece Bailey, and Morgan is 13. So
Morgan's 13.
Morgan is 13.
Oh man.
Right.
So Morgan is actually going through a lot of the stuff that May May went through. And
Excellent.
They both just loved the movie, talked about it a lot. They loved the message that it gave.
It's also really fun watching Autumn with it, because even though she doesn't understand everything that's happening, she picks up the scenes where May May's in trouble, or May May's scared, or May May's mad. And she sits there and she'll repeat that part of the movie. So when everything's first happening and May May's kind of screaming about everything, Autumn's sitting there, "Oh no, May May."
Yeah.
Love it. And that is, you know, it's frankly, you know, as a 30-year-old, 32-year-old white dude, you know, like I love Pixar movies, but my opinions don't really matter. And it's because, you know, like they're good for adult. It's a good family movie. You can sit down and watch Pixar, anything from Pixar really, with your kids, with your family, with your parents. You know, like my parents enjoy Toy Story. You know what I mean? So it's, but the little, it's, you know, it's for the little kid, and it's great if it teaches them something. That's always wonderful. But if they can learn something and do it with a big grin on their face, that's what really matters. And that's the really, you know, like and especially after talking about like doom and gloom movies like the Batman. I did an episode about the Batman with some colleagues last weekend, and I really enjoyed it, but it's you know, it's a lot to take in. So just like sitting down and watching an animated film with the wife, and there was so much joy in it, and you know, so it's like little May May and her little preteen friends that all they want to do is go to the concert. Like love it.
So accurate description of like, I was 13 in that time period because it's set in 2002, and that is 100% accurate. Like I was walking around with my Tamagotchi. I wanted to go to the concert. I think I went to a freaking Jonas Brothers concert, and I was freaking out about it. So it's
excellent.
100% accurate.
Whatever happened to the Jonas Brothers? I know they're like what
music.
Yeah, are they? Well, one of them's married to Sophie Turner, and the other
one's married to Sophie Turner, one's married to Priyanka Chopra, and then one is married to like his high school sweetheart if they went to high school.
Excellent. Now I do have a really important question, and you might not have an answer. Why is it called Four Town if there are 5 of them?
I don't know. I was thinking about that.
The mom asks it in the movie. Yeah.
Because like O-Town.
And this may be totally off base, but I listened to another podcast about the movie, and apparently the words "Four Town" when they're translated to Korean sound like the words that mean death or something that's in Korean. So like it's an inside joke maybe, but that was also, I didn't look this up, so that's I think it was kind of funny. Talked about it for a little bit.
The grandmother was also saying that 4 is like a bad omen.
Yeah. And
about
that's
the movie.
so and that that's kind of where they were thinking where they were thinking about it from. It's and I obviously don't speak Korean. I could be just totally ignorant in saying that, but that's it's apparently like an inside kind of thing, meaning something else that I don't quite understand. But I just like that was probably the biggest laugh.
Pixar in there, and
Yeah.
how they like to hide that sort of stuff in there.
Absolutely. Pixar's all about their Easter eggs. And that's probably the biggest laugh I got about the movie. Like the mom just doesn't understand. This is like
I saw something, and it's when Mei Mei first escapes school and her mom shows up to the school and she turns into the big panda.
Mhm.
When she's sneaking out the window, you can apparently see in the corner the skeleton of Kevin the bird from Up.
yeah. I saw a screenshot of that. Yeah, it's in there.
I love Easter eggs. I love Disney and all their Easter eggs.
Yeah, I didn't spot some of like the Pizza Planet one is in there. A113 is in there, but I don't, I never catch them the first time unless it's like front and center. But there's always some nerd on the internet who takes more time than me and tells me where to look.
They go through and they pause every scene, see what they can see.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw one about Onward earlier where Bruno is in there.
Bruno's in Onward. That they've done that before too. Like the Finding or Nemo from Finding Nemo shows up as a toy in Monsters Inc. Like and Monsters Inc. came out first, so sometimes if they know what's coming soon, they throw in little hints. But so I was going to ask about that. So like, how does the movie nail like fangirling about boy bands and that kind?
Yeah,
yes,
totally accurate, 100%.
Excellent.
Like even still to this day, like.
And I
get the same goo eyes when I go to a Hanson concert. It's the exact same. Nothing has changed.
And I'm kind of fun too because right now both of the kids, Bailey and Morgan, they're both fangirling over all the different K-pop bands.
Yes.
Excellent.
So, kind of fits right into the movie.
And I'm sure.
And I was like, how accurate is this? Like, does this actually happen at the shows?
Oh,
like,
it does.
And they were both like, yeah, this is. I giggled, but yes.
And you've, I'm sure you've never once lied to your parents about where you and your friends were going at any point in time ever in your life.
Honestly, though, I never had to.
That's a fair point, and I'm lame, but yeah, it's just like we mostly just went to Philip's house to play Xbox, like so that I was never doing anything that exciting.
Yeah, I never had to lie to them about a concert or anything. They just told me no, and I wasn't allowed to go.
I've not told my mom where we were going for some stuff, but my dad was the first one to volunteer to drive if we needed to.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's how my mom was too. Like my dad was like, no, you're not going. My mom's like, all right, let's go.
I do have some questions about how the movie navigates certain things. It's like, okay, so you're the red panda. She figures out that it's kind of it's emotionally related, like, and you're a teenager and your chemicals are going crazy and you're prone to emotional outbursts. That's just how teenagers work. And that's she eventually gets it under control. And that's all great. So my question is like, how did you feel about them like parading the panda in front of her friends and stuff? Because I don't think there's anything necessarily alarming about how the movie handles it, but it's also, I think it's a thin, like a weird line to walk. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm curious how you feel about it.
It's a weird line, but I think it shows how much Mei Mei is in control of her own emotions at that age. Like if she can control it so much that she could turn it on and off like a light switch, it's pretty cool.
May we all be so lucky, because that's
I know my kid's not like that. My kid would be a red panda 90% of the time.
Oh, because being a red panda is awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if she'd do it because it's awesome or because it scares her brother.
That's fair. What about, so do you, particularly early in the movie, when Mei Mei's mother is just, you know, like she's really overprotective, like, and particularly when she goes and like walks in on the convenience store clerk, because it's like,
Oh my God.
like I was uncomfortable, and
That's
I
so embarrassing.
yeah,
Parents do embarrassing things all the time.
that's my parents tell me that's why they had children.
That was a very overblown. That was a very overblown representation, at least from what I'm familiar with. But like, I can absolutely see something like that happening. So it was a great way to kind of bring that aspect into the movie.
And she was just drawing in her sketchbook, and then she was like, "What if I drew some abs?" And then her mom found the abs.
Yeah.
And then
Of all the days for her mom to come in and look,
yeah,
like
I mean that's how it goes.
it went really fast though, because when they were at the store, Mamie was like, "Ew, no, what? You're not even. What are you talking about?" And then when she gets home, she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Do you think her mom had like, is she just totally overbearing because she's trying to protect her from what she knows is coming? Because remember the big reveal, I think, at the end of the movie is that yes, her mom also has the panda curse, and her mom's panda is terrifying, and also her Mei's grandmother was a really overbearing mother to her, and it just kind of came around full circle to that. Like, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to find where my question actually is, but like, how do you, as parents, like, how do you navigate? And to be fair, your kids are very young, but like, how do you avoid being overbearing while also keeping them safe and doing like, talk about being a mom for a minute.
So,
do you want to say it? It's your favorite line.
You gotta let kids learn. And there's kind of thing on TikTok I saw a couple weeks ago at this point. That's two guys kind of talking about that. You know, as a parent, what's some of the most important things you do? And they talk about, you know, where's the biggest learning space for kids? And it's doing dangerous things carefully is the quote that came out of it. It's like when you think about that and you're watching your kids and they're doing something dangerous, but they're doing it carefully, you got to let them just keep doing it. So
Okay.
Autumn learned how to climb the rock wall on her little playground before she could actually reach each one of the handholds. You know, it's a little unnerving, little frightening to watch, but if you spook them, they fall and then they don't want to do it anymore.
Mhm.
So you have to just sit there and kind of watch and let them make their own mistakes. And that, you know, in doing that, watching your kids do dangerous things carefully and not intervening, you end up not being as overbearing. So you're able to just watch and let them learn on their own.
That's
And
good.
then-
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Emily.
And then with an older kid, like when Bailey first started dating and they went on their first date with their former partner, I was there on the first date, but not with them. I stayed a safe distance away to make sure that they were safe. So that's making sure they're safe. I know I'm not their parent, but I've got both of their locations on. So if anything were to happen, I can go find them. They don't have to tell me, "Hey, this is where I'm going" all the time. I know where they are. And it gives me a peace of mind to know that they're safe. But like, I think Mei's mom was a little over the top, but it's
Well, I mean, I mean, and to be fair, I'm sure there are parents like her in the world, but like it's deliberately dramatized. Like it's supposed to be funny and uncomfortable. But yeah, like it's definitely designed that way. And the whole point is we're all supposed to be like, no, yeah, like we're freaking out just like Mei is as we're watching the movie. But yeah, and that's.
Although I do have to give her mom props for that drift into the parking spot. It was really good.
It's true. You know, I don't know that I could do that. Like then again, my car's front wheel drive. It's hard to drift. But throughout the movie we learn about this curse that her family has, where all of the women when they hit puberty, they turn into a red panda. And then later on, all of the relatives, they have a like a little charm or a bracelet or something. There's a ritual that allows them to suppress the panda and kind of lock it away inside like a piece of jewelry. And there's a ritual coming up for for Mei Mei. Is it the full moon? Am I remembering that like it's based on the date of the full moon?
The red moon.
The red moon. Okay, yeah. So it's and it's unfortunately it's right before, or it's the same night as the concert. So they're worried about who's gonna. Oh God, we're not gonna be able to go to the concert. What's happening? But ultimately, or later on, we find out that her, we know her mom has the panda. Her dad mentions it first of all, and then later in the movie, her mother finds out that she has gone to the concert instead of the ritual, and her mother freaks out, and red pandas, and then we have a kaiju movie, and that's just something that I didn't see coming for sure.
Well, her mom freaked out. It's not that she found out that she was going to the concert, as they were in the middle of the ritual.
Oh, and then and then she said she just gets up and she decides that she's leaving.
Yeah.
She wants to keep it.
Like, I'm keeping the panda.
Without getting too spoilery on the whole scene, there's a little accident that happens as well in the middle of it. That says Mei Mei runs away.
Yeah, it's been a very long week since I watched this movie, but yeah. Mei Mei ultimately like decides, this is my thing. I wanna keep my thing, and you, whether or not you approve, that's what teenagers do. And then she goes to the concert with her friends, and then the little twat that was taking advantage of her at the party, like comes. He's got like the big hat on, and he's like the boy band fan. It was the birthday party earlier in the movie where the guy like paid her to show up as the panda. And he's just a horrible person, and turns out he's just a big fan of Four Town anyway, and that was pretty great.
He was the stereotype. He was the stereotype of the cool kid in school that makes fun of other people for the things that make them a little bit different than everyone else.
Yes.
At heart, he has the same interests and likes. He just hides it to try and be the cool kid.
Absolutely. And then turns out he likes the same shit that everybody else likes.
Yeah.
And then her mom shows up, and then shows up as a giant 100-foot red panda, tears the roof off the concert. And then the family, trying to think what ultimately made the family decide to embrace the pandas also.
So it was the grandma, and she was like, I'm not gonna lose my daughter to this.
The red moon was about to end.
Right.
They were kind of running out of time, and the mom in her giant red panda form had gotten kind of knocked out and was not fully in the circle. So to perform a ritual, they had to be fully in this drawn circle. And so Mei Mei's trying to drag her back, but is not strong enough and needs help. And so the rest of the family jumps in.
But it starts with grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was like a super Power Rangers moment. Like they all have basically their little power morpher, and then they break it open and they all power up and become giant red pandas. No, that was the big thing that I was like, after it happened, I was like, this is super Power Rangers, and I am here for it.
Yes.
But yeah, so the family who's dreaded this curse for a century or more, they all just decide, all right, maybe the panda's not so bad if we do use it for the right thing.
I feel like curse is kind of the wrong word, because
the curse is the word they use in the movie, but that's fair.
Yeah. Because they use curse at first, but it's like their ancestor had actually asked for that.
Right.
Because it was a time of war and everything going on there. So she wanted to be able to protect her family.
I think it's sort of an acceptance throughout the movie that it's not actually a curse, because I remember when Mei Mei's mom and dad told her about it, she tried to whip up the tapestry and be like, "You cursed me!" And at the end, she embraces it, and it's not a curse anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift, and it's a very cool thing. Like what if I could turn into a giant red panda? That'd be pretty awesome.
How
many
kind of like coming of age, growing and maturing and choosing your own path.
Absolutely.
Mei Mei chooses the path that's different than what the rest of her family had chosen, but it's her growing up and learning a little bit, and the family learning to be accepting of the youngest member of the family right now, trying to adjust and adapt the way that they know is best.
Yeah. And do things a little bit different, and that's okay. You do you, people. That's That's really really what it comes down to, and that's okay, you know. And not everyone's going to agree with you, and that's fine most of the time.
Yeah.
Any, I feel like we've covered a lot in a short one here. I was really interested in your opinions as parents of little kids on this. So any closing thoughts, things you liked about the movie that we haven't talked about? Anything funny or that hit you personally?
I mean, I think when the first time in the school when the kids actually find out who the red panda is, not just Mei Mei's friends, but the other girls,
Right.
and like that whole scene where they like at first everybody's like, oh no, you can't tell anybody, we're gonna beat you up, and then the three just all they get all like, you're so cute, and they get so excited. It's kind of like a fun little part there.
Yeah, everyone is afraid to be different, and then if you're a little bit different, sometimes other people think it's cool.
Yeah.
And then they made bank on that.
Yeah, they did. They made enough to go to concert.
I did love the re-reference to that, right? At that point, they draw the little chart of how much money they need to get and to be able to get all four of their tickets. And at the end of the movie, they have that same chart, except it's for paying back the damages from the Panda Apocalypse.
Yeah, that'd be really expensive to repair the Sky Dome.
$1 million.
Yeah.
They had gotten up to 10,000.
Yeah, it was some absurd number on the chart, and they had the little bit of the chart colored in, and talking about Panda Apocalypse or whatever.
Good times.
Exactly what they called it, but
it just says rebuild the Sky Dome. I don't think they call it.
No, she actually references to everybody. Okay. Everybody still talks about the.
Yeah, one of the characters calls it that in the dialogue. But there's a I can't get over the 100-foot red panda. It's pretty awesome.
That was great. And at the end, the kind of acceptance there, when mom invites the friends over for dinner and they get all excited about about the cooking.
I love that at the end, how the mom finally accepts the friends, because at first she's like talking about the girl in the green. She's like, that girl's just a problem or something like that, and then she turns and blames them for Tyler's party, and then she embraces them at the end of the movie, which is really cool. She embraces the friendship. She invites them over. It's really cool.
Yes, let's all come over and have dumplings and watch a movie and let's just be friends. That's all everybody wants to do. It's just be friends and eat dumplings.
I think another fun part for me, at least, especially because everybody talks about nobody ever told me being an adult would be this ridiculous. It's that scene when she doesn't go to the karaoke night, and she goes, well, like all adults, I have responsibilities.
Because I just turned 13 and I can do whatever I want all the time.
This is what my card says. I'm an adult. I do like the point where all the family is going back to being themselves from being their red pandas. And Mei Mei gets to talk to her mom going through puberty, and her mom's going through the same pressure from her mom that she's going through with her mom.
Right. It's and I loved the parallel there. Like, we find out that the grandmother was also really overbearing, and that never changed really. Like, it's still going into adulthood almost. So it's.
Oh yeah, you see that perfectly when she calls up and the mom's on the curled up on the ground, like, no, you don't need to come. We have this under control. And grandma shows up with all of the aunts as well. And
we need an intervention.
Yeah. That was a lot.
What else? I love when they don't think they can get quite enough money to go to the concert, and they're all saying, "Oh, I'll stay home." Like, no, you can't stay home. The one guy's your soulmate. No, yeah, it was just like there are a lot of adorable preteen moments in this movie.
Either we all go or we don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
great. And that's definitely seen that with your friends growing up. Either we all do something or none of us go, because we'd rather just do the things together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much fun if you have to go alone.
Yeah. Or if you're missing that one person, you're always thinking like, oh, they would have loved this. Oh, I missed them. It's never the same when you don't go with your group.
It's true. You just have to live with the FOMO, and nobody wants that. Yeah, so it's obvious that we all really like the movie. I am going to add another friend of mine who has some kids. One of her kids is a little bit older than yours. That's coming up on 10, I think, maybe 9.5 or so. And her kids weren't so into it. She said they watched it about 15 minutes and then kind of moved on. And I was just
a little bit of a slow start. I could see that for kids in that age range.
Yeah. She has 3, and I think one is 3 or 4, right around autumn or so, maybe a little younger. But her oldest is about 9 and didn't really care that much. Maybe there's a point where, it's not about me yet. So then maybe she'd like it a little bit, closer to 13, 14, maybe not. But anyway, no, yeah, Turning Red is wonderful. It has we said it at the top of the show, it's great that they're telling kids that this is normal. And I can't believe some of the internet comments that are happening around this movie. It's absolute nonsense, but it's normal. It's things to be excited about.
I love the path that Disney's taking with the villains now. There's not one true villain. It's in yourself, or it's coming from others.
It's others that are sometimes even friends. It's overcoming an internal conflict more so than defeating a villain.
Yep.
And that is
it's overcoming ingrained behaviors. Even.
Yes.
Yeah. Things that you've been taught or just have had to live with for a while, and then you realize maybe that's not so cool. There one last thing I want to talk about, and it actually has very little to do with the movie. It has to do with why is Disney just dropping all of the Pixar movies onto Disney Plus? They're still doing it. It's been a year later, and it's very upsetting for me. I really hope the Lightyear movie goes to theaters.
I'm pretty sure Lightyear.
Yeah, the fact that it's
that one doesn't.
Yeah, the fact that it's related to Toy Story, even kind of tangentially, it has to. If they don't, there's gonna be a problem. They're gonna get an angry tweet from yours truly. Anyway,
they put the Marvel shows on Disney Plus now too.
Yeah, the rated R ones from Netflix have all rolled over there, and then Agents of Shield, which I watched the first season and a half of that, and it had its ups and downs. Right when it got really good, right when Winter Soldier came out, because then if you found out that the main guy and basically all of Shield was Hydra, including the main character on the show.
It also struggled for a little bit figuring out where it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Especially, I think part of that ended up kind of resulting from the fact with Agents of Shield, at least, it resulted from the fact that they weren't sure if it was actually going to coincide with the cinematic universe or not.
Yeah, for a couple of seasons, when a movie would come out, they would do something in reference to the movie, but that wasn't really sustainable because the world was getting so complex. So that was
that, and then eventually I think Disney actually decided that Agents of Shield was not going to be a part of the universe, and so Agents of Shield got to this kind of roadblock where they had to decide what they were going to do. And
Marvel TV was kind of its own thing for a while.
Yeah.
And now it's all mixed together, and I'm really excited for the Moon Knight show. It's kind of an obscure character that I think is pretty awesome. So I hope I hope the show's really good. I like Oscar Isaac. Any movies this year you guys are really looking forward to?
We hardly ever go see movies anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't been out to see one in a minute.
I think the last one we saw was Paw Patrol.
All right. No. I mean, that's fair.
Since the Paw Patrol movie, but
what did we go see?
I don't remember what the last one we actually went and saw.
Oh, we saw Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, that was the last one. My wife went to. Yeah, it's really good. And I'm really trying. I have it pre-ordered on Blu-ray, and I'm really trying to resist ordering it. I hate that movies come out on digital a month before they come out on disc.
Yeah,
it's just it's already paid for. It's coming, but I really want to watch it now.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the multiverse of madness.
Yep.
Me too. And then we haven't seen anything from Thor: Love and Thunder, but that's probably going to be pretty awesome.
I actually was reading an article about that recently because they, and actually the fact that we still haven't, it might now be the first Marvel movie that the shortest period of time from when you see the first teasers for it. Hulk used the Edward Norton Hulk used to hold that one, where I think the first preview for it was like 93 days before release. And I think we're actually inside that.
Where it comes out like the first week of July. So like we're coming up on that. April, beginning of April will be 90 days. So that's interesting. Like they have to show it with Doctor Strange, right? And that's in May, I think.
Yeah, right. And like they might do exactly what they did with Doctor Strange, where they put the that first like official trailer at the end of the movie, right?
Right.
Because that's the first big Doctor Strange trailer was at the end of Spider-Man.
But the thing is, we knew it was coming based off of the end of WandaVision.
That's true.
And the end of Loki.
We also know that this one's coming based off of the end of
Endgame, right? Because he's with the Guardians.
He flew off with the Guardians.
And I'm curious, like, how big a part of the Guardians going to play here, or is he going to separate from them pretty fast? But anyway,
I wouldn't even, I hope to see the Guardians in it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we just don't even see the Guardians in it. Like it just, I separated from them a while back.
Fair.
Yeah, because they have a whole other movie coming out too.
They do. Oh God, it's a good time to be a nerd.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, thanks guys for coming on the show. I think we can wrap this up. It's obvious we all really like Turning Red. The kids love Turning Red, and that's really more important anyway.
Right.
And so I definitely recommend it. It's no less complex than any other Pixar movie. It's still, me and my wife are in our 30s, and we thought it was hilarious, and it's adorable, and it's really fun. And she had the same thing to say. It's like she was fangirling about boy bands when she was 12. Like that's, so it's really, really real stuff that we can all relate to. And that's what makes Pixar great. Is even when it's not just about a person, if it's about a fish or a toy or this or that, like there's always something really real under the hood. And that's why we love Pixar. But thanks everybody for watching. This has been another episode of Engine25 Reviews. We're on YouTube, obviously. We're also on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts now. So feel free to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Jinx.